I swear this is the last Quinn video I'm gonna make, but with the information that has come out recently, it would just feel lazy and dishonest not to cap off this trilogy of autism. So remember when I said that the allegations against Haruka are almost certainly false? That Quinn is a pathological liar that has built her career off of dishonesty? Well, the excellent people at the PostMillenial decided to sit down and actually investigate what happened, unlike literally everybody else on the internet. Especially that TheAlmightyLoli cunt. Fuck that guy. But what did the PostMillenial find? Well, their article on the subject, which I highly recommend you take a look for yourself, link in the description, points out massive, gaping holes with Zoe's story, to the point that it's all but safe to say that Quinn has pretty much committed murder. Is that hyperbolic? Some might say. But since Quinn's claims have been destroyed, what else can you call sicking a mob on a mentally ill man until he commits suicide, for the sake of covering up embezzlement and Kickstarter fraud? So what exactly does the article say? How does it disprove her story? Well kids, let's sit down and go through this step by step, like good old Jesse Winchester. Copyright's gonna buttfuck me on this, so you better appreciate the music. So Zoe's first big claim was that Alec essentially kept her hostage in his apartment when she went to live with him in Winnipeg. Problem with that is that her tweets have surfaced from that time period that show she was, yeah. If Haruka wanted to kidnap her, then he was just really fucking bad at it. She was clearly able to move freely and actually seemed to have a decent trip. She bought plushies, acted in a musical of all things, went to a coffee shop. Yeah, none of this screams prisoner to a psychopath to me. Who knows, maybe Haruka was just super chill about his kidnapped victims and let them leave. Or maybe Quinn is a dishonest cunt that is lying for White Knight Virgin Bucks?
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out.
Yeah, let's go with that. But the biggest blow to the story is the fact that it came out that not only was she allowed to move freely, but she arranged meetups with other game devs while in Winnipeg. One outright had up to 38 people at it. So tell me, you're a strong, independent woman who has been illegally confined by a mentally unstable lunatic that repeatedly abuses you, that throws stuff, hurts himself, sexually abuses you repeatedly. What would you do when you're in a room with 38 people? 38 people that could hypothetically get you out of that situation and protect you from your abuser. That's right, not even mention it. It's fine, guys. It's all fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
They even showed up on a podcast together, where, once again, Quinn makes no mention or even implication that anything was wrong. Instead, she called her relationship adorkable. Now, I get not airing your dirty laundry in public, but with claims as serious as Quinn's, that goes well beyond just having some relationship issues. Now, this is a retraction to one of my statements in my first video on the subject. At that time, I said I was confused on the exact timeline of when everything happened, but the information that we have now clears that up. This all happened in April of 2012, and the game that Haruka was helping her work on was a small parody dating sim called It's Not Okay Cupid. This is important, as one of the claims made by Quinn was that Haruka completely took over the project and essentially forced her out of the game she came up with. However, this is a lie. Numerous tweets popped up showing that Quinn was actually doing a lot of the work herself, so the claim that Alex stole it from her was blatantly dishonest. Instead, it honestly sounded like she shouldered most of the burden while Haruka only really provided inspiration or suggestions or encouragement. But this, in my personal opinion, is the most damning contradiction of them all. She stated that she was trapped in Winnipeg, that Haruka refused to buy her a plane ticket, and that she was stuck until a friend bought the ticket for her. Now, this immediately should have raised some eyebrows, since who plans a trip with the assumption that someone else will buy your ticket home? Well, as it turns out, this is also grade A bullshit.
Fuck that! Total bullshit!
Tweets show that Quinn was very much prepared to leave on regular schedule, and even complained about a layover in Montreal. Seems like the whole I was kidnapped and held prisoner by a Canadian indie developer story isn't exactly holding water. Who could have fucking guessed?
Fuck you! I was right! Fuck you! I was right! Fuck you! I was right!
So we also said that Haruka didn't even acknowledge her leaving. But once again, this is a lie. His tweets show that they were in crunch time, trying to get as much finished as they could before her flight. They also remained in constant contact with each other all the way into May, still talking about their game, even though you would think Zoe would show any signs of resenting Haluka in what he did, maybe blocking his Twitter, DMing some people who would no doubt leak it, mentioning any of this when Gamergate started, any sign that this was something we all just missed in the chaos, but nothing. So now it's pretty much confirmed that Quinn's claims, if not outright false, certainly have a lot of misremembered details, and with Quinn being such an unreliable narrator, yeah, this should be blatant and clear evidence that she was fucking lying, meaning Haluka pretty much died for nothing except Patreon bucks and a few more precious seconds in the limelight. So no more defending her. No more, okay? Stop acting like she's some fucking victim that needs your help to go to the fucking bathroom. No. She very, very clearly has done something very, very wrong, and this needs to be addressed, okay? Now, some people will end up saying that this subject needs to be dropped, that the more you pay attention to Quinn, the more money and fame you give her. But all I have to say to that is that this isn't something you ignore, okay? A man was pushed into suicide by blatantly false claims. This is the exact opposite of something you ignore. I mean, I understand not wanting to get tied into internet bullshit, but when bodies start piling up, that's when you start paying attention. Now, there were grumblings of it in the comments section of the last two videos, but here I'm going to outright state it. The police need to be contacted about this. If Quinn is lying and there is massive amounts of evidence to prove that she was, then she is directly responsible for Haluka's suicide. The reason cancel culture exists is because everybody thinks they can do the police's job, mainly because the media does nothing but show you stories about how the police refused to investigate this guy or fucked up in the investigation of that guy, so everyone thinks that TV immediately dictates how your immediate reality is going to work.
Don't believe everything you see on TV, kid.
But no, okay? We cannot do their job. We need to accept that. There needs to be a formal investigation into this matter. The claims need to be looked into, and Alex's death needs some answers. And I have to emphasize that the police need to do this. Going after Quinn online solves nothing. Trying to go to her in reality like there's some lunatic incel does nothing. It gives her a boogeyman she can make money off of. Besides, all of her accounts are protected anyway. This goes way beyond any internet bullshit, guys. It really does. Alec Haluka actually died. You really need to sit back and think about that. Online drama tends to desensitize people to the impact of how the real world works, but really step back and think about what happened. Get all the Hollywood bullshit and cop drama logic out of your brain. Zoe Quinn lied about Alec Haluka sexually abusing her and kidnapping her. She never went to the police, and the story came out 7 years later, right when she needed to cover up losing $60K. Some are saying upwards to $90K, so that's even fucking worse, but whatever. Clear evidence has come out that shows her claims have a lot of plot holes to them. Some are just outright lies. The mob stoked up by Quinn, harassed, legitimately, actually harassed, Alec Haluka, a man with severe mental health issues, which Quinn was well aware of, and she did nothing to calm the inferno. Haluka was fired from the company he started, disowned by friends and family, and the exact nightmare he feared his entire life came true. So he killed himself. I'm not sure how many laws Quinn broke here. Could be none, could be 20. But there needs to be some intervention by the adults already. Canceling Quinn is fucking retarded. Yelling at her on a computer does nothing. Stop relying on autistic mob justice. It's how we got here in the first place. Can we for fucking once do things the proper way?
The whole world gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Sorry to vent like this, but it needed to be said. Everyone's first reaction to hearing about crap like this is to dunk on each other. Nobody asks if the police are gonna look into it, because they just assume someone else will do it for them, or fuck the police, they never do anything anyway. Which if you think that, yeah, you probably live in a gated neighborhood where the police do absolutely everything for you. But no, at this point nothing else can be said. Hopefully there can be finally some form of professionalism here, and the authorities will at least look into what happened. Why does every country have draconian cyberbullying laws if they don't ever plan on using them? This is a legitimate case of that exact thing, because you don't just shove a dude with mental illness into a corner and start screaming at him and not expect bad fucking results. So, until next time, fuck it. You know what to do already. This shit has me depressed, man. Alright, see you guys.